here's the weight difference between the stock servo and Emax Servo. Stock weighs at 5.7 grams and Emax Servo weighs at 12.9 grams. Welcome to Big Sound Hobbies. Today I continue the upgrade series on my Axial SCX24. I'll be installing an Emax Servo to my SCX24 using the stock servo mount. So let's get started. The first part is to remove the stock servo and the servo mount, which I'll be reusing. One thing to note, that the servo horn is on the driver's side to the right side from looking from the front. We'll be mounting it on the same side. The stock servo is mounted to the servo mount by 2 screws. Once you remove the 2 screws, then you can remove the screw on the drag link. I'm going to be reusing the stock servo mount. It is held by 2 screws on the front connecting to the top of the diff cover. Remove the 2 screws. There is also 1 screw that is holding the upper link. Remove it and the servo mount will come loose. Here's the Emax Servo that I'll be upgrading to. There's an analog version ES08MD-II, and I decided to go with digital version ES08MD-II, which has slightly better power. Either one will work with SXC24. Here's what comes with the Emax Servo. The servo with longer leads. Also a few plastic servo horn options. Looking at the stock and the Emax Servo, it looks like the Emax is a slightly bit wider. It sits on the servo mount without any issues. It's also a bit deeper. The holes line up, but it leaves a bit of a gap. I've seen folks 3D print a spacer, but since I don't have one, I'm going to use O-rings on each side as spacers. You are going to need longer screws. The screws from the diff cover seems to be the right length for it. Also, the wire comes out straight back, so I am going to make a small notch at the back of the servo mount using a file so that the wire sits nicely. Here you can see I notched a small cut using a file so that the bottom part of the wire will sit flush. Remember, the servo horn sits on the right side, so in order to help with the travel up and down and clearance, I'm going to trim a bit of the top corners with cutter so that it will fully move up and down. Also, here's the weight difference between the stock servo and Emax Servo. Stock weighs at 5.7 grams and Emax Servo weighs at 12.9 grams. It should add a bit of a weight on the front end, which I need. Now reinstall the servo and the servo mount. Now that I have the servo installed, I am going to center the servo by powering it up. Turn on the transmitter and make sure the trim on the transmitter is set to 0. Turn on the ESC. Then power it down. Then install the servo horn and the drag link. As for the servo horn, it comes with a few different options. The single servo horn has 3 holes, but it's a bit longer than the stock, and holes don't seem to line up as well as the cross-shaped one. It has the correct length and hole, so I am going to use it. I'll cut off the 3 ends that I don't need using a clipper and file it down. Use a bit of blue Loctite on screw for the servo horn. Check and adjust the trim as needed. With the Emax Servo installed, although the overall weight went up to 274 grams, the weight distribution has been changed to 54% front and 46% rear. Although it's not the near 60-40 that I'm looking for, it is moving in the right direction. Hope you found the information helpful. Please like and subscribe and make sure to hit the notification bell to be notified of future videos. Thanks for watching Bigson Hobbies.